Luke chapter 10, starting in verse 25. Just then an expert in the law stood up to test him, saying, "Teacher, what must I do to inherit eternal life?" "What is written in the law?" he asked him. "How do you read it?" He answered, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." "You've answered correctly," he told him. "Do this and you will live." But wanting to justify himself, he asked Jesus, "And who is my neighbor?" Jesus took up the question and said, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell into the hands of robbers. They stripped him, beat him up, and fled, leaving him half dead. A priest happened to be going down that road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. In the same way, a Levite, when he arrived at the place and saw him, passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan on his journey came up to him, and when he saw the man, he had compassion. He went over to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on olive oil and wine. Then he put him on his own animal, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. The next day he took out 2 denarii and gave him to the innkeeper and said, 'Take care of him. When I come back, I'll reimburse you for whatever extra you spend.' Which of these 3 do you think proved to be a neighbor to the man who fell into the hands of robbers? The one who showed mercy to him," he said. Then Jesus told him, "Go and do the same." The other day, I was talking with my fiance, and as we often do at the end of our days, we asked how each other's day went. I'll tell you about my day. I want to hear about how your day went. And she got to the end of telling me about her day, and she just said, "I just didn't have that great of a day. I wasn't as productive as I needed to be. I didn't get done all the things that I needed to get done." And I think that we all can feel that way sometimes. But in the same conversation, she had told me that she spent a lot of time helping out her dad with a project that he needed help on. She also told me that she spent time on the phone with a friend who was going through the hard time for a couple hours and being there for her. And it's so interesting because I think that we all fall into this trap sometimes. She had gotten to the end of the day and assumed that it wasn't that great of a day because I didn't get done the things that I needed to. Yet she had spent this time with people and loved people out of her own heart. And I think that that is a better measure of our days. And I think that the lawyer actually figured this out. He said, "What must I do to inherit eternal life? I got to love the Lord your God with all the heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love the neighbor as myself." But not wanting to be outdone, he doubles down and says, "But who is my neighbor?" And reading through this passage this time, I see Jesus give a really direct answer in verse 33. But a Samaritan on the journey came up to him, and when he saw the man, that's it. When he saw the man, that was the prerequisite to loving him. Who do you see in your day-to-day? Who do you pass by at work? Who do you interact with at your school? Who do you see when you cross the threshold into your home? Or who do you greet when you're getting your coffee in the morning? Who do you see? I think that oftentimes our days are spent when we get to the end of them. We gauge how well it went by how much we got done, how much we might have gotten into the bank, what we checked off of our checklist. And we forget that Jesus' way of going about things is asking the question, who did you love and how did you love them?